to the benefits, because especially using LinkedIn, because most people don't realize this. There's actually a massive opportunity. People are all scared of the unemployment rate. They're scared of the market. They're scared of the fact that lots of businesses are still closed. What they don't realize is if there's a 20% unemployment, there's actually 80% employment rate. That means most businesses are currently employed, and most people don't know how to leverage that. They don't know how to get out of their mind of like, oh my God, lack. Hey, Amazon's making more money than they've ever made before.
That's for sure. And by the way, a ton of the internet marketers that I know are killing it. I have a guy who is doing like $4,000 a day. He's doing like 10K a day right now.
It's crazy. By the way, if you guys are watching this live right now, just say hello in the chat. Let us know what city you're dialing in from. Just put your city in the chat right now. Me and Esti will give you a little shout out. If you're watching the replay, put in your city in the chat as well.
Just
because I would love to see.
We feel it. And maybe we'll shout out your city, because time is actually just like a snake. It's circuitous and it's all connected. So it's all good.
So Esti, so what is this person doing that was doing 4K? Now they're doing 10K because of the pandemic. What are they doing differently? Like, what are some things that you're seeing your clients are doing that are generating even more revenue? And then I'll talk about what I see.
Okay. So I'll tell you the one thing that's actually not the answer you're going to expect. The people that are succeeding are the people who know that things are going to be okay, and they're behaving as if they are. I know that sounds weird. The people that I've seen fall apart, who are like, I don't know what's going to be. I have to protect myself and protect my business and skim down and, you know, go into my little turtle shell. And those people are all falling apart. Right. And they're like, okay, you know, and we're going to attack and we're going to protest, not the other kind of protest, but like the, you know, all of our vendors have to pay us and we're going to get together and we're going to file a lawsuit. Like, those people are complete messes. Right. And my clients who are doing well, like this guy, they're all going, you know what? There's so much opportunity here. Right. And even though a lot of things are changing and shifting, I kill everybody. Everything's a bell curve. It's going to come back. So I'm going to behave. Yes, I understand there's going to be a new normal. But life is going to go on. We are not all going to die. The apocalypse has not come. And so I'm going to plan the next season. I'm going to build the next program. I'm going to train people to continue getting out there. And all those people are doing amazing. This guy happens to do online. It's BizOp, right? So it's online training. I can't give the details, but let's say he teaches people how to use, learn how to use YouTube to help other people sell on YouTube, right? So he's training other marketers, basically, YouTube marketers. Let's say. And, you know, a guy like that could say, oh my gosh, well, you know, businesses are falling apart. Everything's closing down. I don't even know what I'm doing. I should take all my money out of my ad spend and I should stop doing this. And instead he's like, no, there are so many people who now need new opportunities. He went full force and he's killing it.
And, you know, what I tell people is that the attention of people online is greater now than it's ever been. So your opportunity to get through to people, to get in front of people now, both online, but also through the phone, is more than ever. I know that if somebody would call me back in the day when I was busy running around and going to meetings, I wouldn't necessarily look at my phone. But everybody's on their phone now. Everybody's on their computer now. Everybody's checking their email now more than ever. Everybody's on LinkedIn now more than ever. So I'm getting through to people that I've never been able to get through to before, because I'm actually, instead of just hiding in my living room, just watching Netflix, what I am doing is I'm reaching out to people and building relationships. And I'm having more, I feel like I'm busier now, Esti, than I've ever been. I feel like I'm spending more time because there's no like downtime. There's no travel time. There's no going anywhere. It's all kind of like on, because when you're online, you're always on. And so I feel like I need to give myself those breaks. Otherwise, I'm just going to go out of my mind. But I'm closing deals left and right now, and I'm doing them because I'm reaching out, because I'm building relationships, because I'm having meetings, virtual meetings, one-on-ones, 5-on-1s. I'm building relationships now like I've never built before. And I'm even leveraging the current BLM crisis and reaching out to people and saying, hey, who are some people of color in your community? I'd love to support them from a marketing standpoint. I'd love to help them out. So any opportunity that's happening right now, I'm looking at it as an opportunity to make a difference for other people and help people be able to get further faster And I want you to think like that. If you're watching this right now, it's because you're hungry, because you want to thrive, not just survive, but you actually want to thrive. And me and Esti are working with lots of people that are thriving right now. And what we see that they're doing differently is that they're still taking action. Fear does one thing to everybody. It makes you stop taking action. It freezes you. It freezes you completely. So I want you to get unfrozen and instead just melt a little bit and thrive and just start taking action consistently. So what are some things people can actually do right now, Esti, that you're seeing from a marketing standpoint?
So many things. So I think we're supposed to specifically dial in on LinkedIn, right? Because
so let's get into that.
I could give you 50 different tracks to go on, like what to do on YouTube, what to do on Instagram, what to do on the phone, what to do on your email. We'll play LinkedIn for a minute. So one of the best things, so it's so funny that you say you're busier now. I feel calmer than I've ever been, right? I haven't been on an airplane in months, right? Because nobody's traveling. I've been traveling virtually, everywhere, connecting with people all over the world, which I always do. But in some ways, I find that people are even more open now to connecting virtually because they can't connect in person. But I find that everything's just kind of calmer, quieter, and I'm loving it. And so for other people who've also maybe had a little more quiet time, develop some content, right? And I know you talk about this all the time. Everyone should stop being lurkers, right? Everyone's always lurking, watching other people's content. Start developing content. People don't realize it really does take time to find your voice. You know, when they see the bigger influencers and the people who have a strong voice, and again, I'm going to go right now on LinkedIn, forget the other platforms for a moment, they feel intimidated. Like, well, I don't sound like that. I don't look like that. Yeah, not yet. You didn't find your voice yet. But now is such a good time to start developing content that adds value to others. People say, well, how do I know it's going to add value? Here's a tip. It's really easy. Look at all the posts in your feed. Okay. Now, social media algorithms are based basically on behavioral psychology. Okay. And so it's, hit the lever, get a pellet, hit the lever, get a pellet. BF Skinner taught us this. Randomized reward is the win. If you ever heard me talk about social media, you know this already. But randomized reward is the most addictive form of behavior. Okay. So Skinner, I think it was the early 1900s, tested this on mice. They've tested this on humans. It totally works. If you give a consistent reward, you get bored. And this is why humans get bored also of consistent reward. And this is why lotteries and gambling and raffles, right? This is why a raffle to win a $20 Amazon gift card is more compelling than getting a $20 Amazon gift card, because we're nuts, right? So all social media algorithms are rigged where you're going to get like a meh, 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 oh, oh. And it's rigged like that. So in your feed, you are guaranteed to get a certain series of high-performing content. Now, this is the same hack we translate backwards when we develop high-performing content. But work with me for a second. As you go through your feed, no matter who you're following, you must get some high-performing content because that's the addictiveness of social media. How do you know what's high-performing? You see the likes and comments. You see the views. When you see something that's getting 100 plus, and this is, again, LinkedIn standard, 100 plus comments, right? A few thousand plus views. It only shows you video views. It won't show you post views. You know that this thing's performing decent to good. Obviously, when you see something that has a few hundred comments or 1,000 plus comments, it's even more. If you're the super organized type, take your pen and your paper and write down kind of the basic theme of those things, right? Open them in a new tab so you can kind of look at them all together. Use it for brainstorming ideas on concepts. Because now you know some of what's high performing. You'll start to see the patterns, and that'll give you some tips and some hints on what you might want to develop your content on. That's one really good way. But the first and foremost thing is you've got to get over that insecurity. It will take you time to find your voice, and that's okay, because here's the secret. Until you do, no one's really listening anyways.
Yeah, it's true. The whole concept of positive reinforcement, partially randomized rewards is really incredible. Rewarding people at certain times. I know it works with dogs because I train some dogs. But for sure with kids as well, if you give it to them every time, they're not going to be happy. You have to give it to them at times and make it a surprise. People love surprises. But in terms of practice, if you want to practice doing video, do Facebook Live because no one's going to see it, and just do it every day. That's something that I do. I do Facebook Live. I know no one's watching, and I'm okay with that. but I'm practicing. I'm getting better, and I'm getting better, and I'm getting better. And the key is consistency. Most people don't have consistency. Most people say they want to post, but then I look at the last time they posted, it's been 5 years. It's literally been 5 years. Some lady told me, she's like, Joe, I post on LinkedIn all the time. I looked at her post. 5 years ago was the last time she posted. I was like, you have 2,000 followers on LinkedIn. She's like, I'm getting into Twitter. I was like, you have 1 follower on Twitter. I'm the only follower you have on Twitter. 1 follower. You have 2,000 on LinkedIn, people that know you, like you, and trust you, people that you've been collecting, because most people are collecting and hoarding connections for years. 2,000 people that you've been collecting for the past decade or two, and you haven't been posting, you haven't been engaging, and you haven't been messaging. So I always tell people is you got to take action every day. So even if you just have 15 minutes a day of proactive time, just post something. It doesn't have to be of value, because you could be one of those people that just show up. It doesn't have to be the biggest valuable thing in the world. You know, right now I just did a webinar on how to use LinkedIn polls to generate revenue. It's a really phenomenal webinar. You definitely should watch it. And I posted it inside the group here, and I'll post the link as well. But even just posting a poll, just taking a poll, figuring out who your target market is, and asking your target market a question about what's most relevant. What do they want to learn about? Sometimes I do polls about what do people want to learn about? What do you actually want to learn about? And most people are not willing to even ask their network what they want to learn about. You know, so if I said, hey, the reason why I created a certain course and why I put certain information into the course is because I've been interviewing hundreds and hundreds of people to figure out what do they want to learn more. And people want to learn about how to DM. People want to learn about how to optimize their profile. People want to learn about how to post. That's what people want to learn about. So that's what I created my course about. Now, of course, I added some foundational stuff like how to create a strategy, how to come up with a plan, how to figure out your target market, like all that stuff. But, you know, using our dashboards will help you be able to track what you need to track, and don't overcomplicate it. These people want to overcomplicate everything. And so I always tell people, don't overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And a lot of the questions that people ask you in your business, you think they're obvious and everyone has those answers. They don't. So if you're going to get started with getting out there, start by answering the questions people ask you the most. I have a list of 58 LinkedIn questions that people ask me the most, with the most ideal answers to those questions. Esti, what's a question that people ask you the most when it comes to marketing their business? I know you have a course called Marketing Magic, right?
I do have Marketing Magic, which is where we guarantee you never waste money on marketing again.
So what's one of the most common questions people ask you about marketing? Is it how much money should I spend in marketing? How should I come up with a budget? Like, what's a question that people ask you?
That is one. One question is, I think the most common question is, how do I know when to give up? I get that a lot. Like, I wish they came to me before they started what they were doing, because I could save them the money before they ever spend it. A lot of times people come my way after they're already in the middle of something, right? They've hired a social media manager. They're doing Google ads. They're putting out print ads, and they're not working. And they come to me and they're like, how do I know how much is enough? How do I know how long I have to do it before it works? Because there's so much misinformation out there about, you know, you don't need to be profitable for the first X years, or, you know, you're going to have to lose money after. I never lost any money. I've never had an unprofitable month. I'm running my company over 10 years. Okay. To all those people who say you have to lose money, garbage. All right. So one of the most common questions I get is, how long do I need to do this to know if it's working? And I'm going to backtrack, and I'm going to take it back to LinkedIn for a minute, because I feel like that's our topic, and otherwise we'll go on 5 billion tangents. On LinkedIn, how long do you need to do something before you know it's working? And I would tell people 1 to 3 months. If you're not doing something consistently 1 to 3 months, you have no idea if it's working. And LinkedIn's free, so it should cost you time but not money. That's number one. But in general, thanks for putting that link up there. In general, any marketing endeavor that you haven't sat down beforehand, set your goal, and then either through your own knowledge or speaking to an expert or crowdsourcing people who actually know what they're talking about, set a realistic expectation of how long it should take you to reach that goal. And I hope your goal includes earning back everything you spend and more. You will have a map. Most marketing endeavors take between 1 and 3 months. That's the truth, right? Very few things are instantaneous. And that's once you've gotten your message concrete and all of that fun stuff. And same for LinkedIn. right? So we were just talking about a content strategy. Joe was mentioning DM. Recently, I worked with a client. They're launching a massive next stage operation, and they're bringing LinkedIn in as one of their filters. So they're already big on Facebook and they're big on YouTube, and they're doing LinkedIn next. So I was just speaking with their LinkedIn strategist, giving them some tips, and we're doing a dual strategy. Okay, we're doing both a content branding strategy and a DM sales strategy. And for all of you who are watching, I would recommend, if you're on your own, you could do both. If you have limited time, just pick one. Okay. They work best when you do both in tandem. That's the truth. But if you have limited time, you can do one at a time. And what I mean by that is this: a content strategy is not going to sell much. Okay. Let's just be honest, right? Heard me talk before. I talk social media as a party. You're hanging out at a party. Everyone's at a party. It's a big networking event. When you're standing in the middle of the networking room and you're just chatting with people, you're not closing deals and getting the money. That's not where the deals are closed. So developing content is getting your name out, getting your face out. People get to know you. You build legitimacy, you build familiarity. Familiarity does not, as people think, breed contempt necessarily. It does breed legitimacy, right? So just by being known, people tend to think you're good. If they don't have an immediate, I do a lot of psychology, if they don't have an immediate thing in their brain that something connects bad to you, but they recognize your name, they'll naturally think you're good. Okay, so you have a leg up just by being recognized, your name, your face, your stuff. And so a content-based strategy is a long-range strategy, right? If you're going to want to sell something, or if you need a strong brand or name for something you're going to do, lean into content, okay? DM strategy is a sales strategy. And the more you hit the pain point, and the faster you hit the pain point, and the more targeted you are, the faster you're going to sell. So if you've got something for accountants, and an accountant's biggest pain points, I'll tell you one of them. I know very few accountants who know marketing. It's just different kinds of brains. Okay, so I have a lot of accounting clients. A lot of accountants come through our programs. Let's say an accountant has a marketing issue. Man, they need more clients. Okay, you go and you use LinkedIn, which is just genius, and you just search accountants. That's it, right? Accountants in private practice. It'll spit you out 10 trillion of them, and you can reach out and say, hey, as a former accountant myself, who cracked the marketing code, I have seen so many of my peers suffer with a dearth of clients for no reason. And if you're sitting there wondering how you're going to get the next clients in, there is nothing as constant as death and taxes. And I can show you exactly how to get people in without spending more than $100 per acquisition. Do you want to hop on a call? You send a DM like that to a hungry accountant, you bet you're going to get calls, content or no content. But if you're doing content, your call's going to be even warmer and a faster close.
Yeah, I think it was the guy talking with Brian Scuddermore from 1-800 Got Junk. He was saying that having a face to a brand is so important. When I started my business, when I started Ajax Union, I was really insecure about my own face. I was scared of sharing my face. I thought I wasn't good looking. I thought it was weird that a from guy would be out there. I convinced myself I was
from guy. Hello, my LinkedIn avatar was a drawing for the first 5 years.
Yeah.
I didn't put my real face in my picture.
I had all these beliefs around what it meant, and I'm a private person. I don't want my photo on the internet. Like I had so many like ideas about that. And what I didn't realize is that the second I became real, I started generating real revenue. Someone that wants to spend $10,000, $15,000 a month, they're not going to spend it with a random logo that they don't know if it's even a real company. They're going to spend it with the guy who's out there showing everybody that he knows what he's talking about and adding value every single day. That's how big deals get closed. And I want you to close big deals. I want you to get trust from other people. Could you imagine? Now, I'm not talking about going viral and having millions of people know you. I'm talking about having 100 people really trust you. Even 100 people. If you had 100 people that were in the position to do business with you, really, really trust you, and really want to buy your products and services, and really want to spend that $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 with you, you would make a very, very good living from a small group of 100 people that would not only buy stuff from you, but also refer business to you. You don't need a massive network to be an influencer. If you influence the right 100 people or the right 1,000 people, you can make a very, very good living for yourself. You might not be able to make a fortune from 100 or 1,000 people, but you'll be able to make a very good living for yourself and eventually set yourself up to be able to make a fortune once you work on yourself enough. There was a guy, I think his name's Jim Rohn or something like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. Very famous guy. He was like Tony Robbins' mentor and so on. He has a lot of really great videos online. Highly recommend you check out his videos. And he said, you could only grow your business as much as you grow yourself. If you're stuck with your self-limiting beliefs, if you're stuck in a negative mindset, if you don't have a growth mindset, if your mind is always worrying about lack, if you're trying to take instead of give, if you're worried that other people are going to steal your ideas, if you're going to be out there and share your best secrets, you're not going to be able to grow. You got to be the giver. You got to be the leader. You got to be the servant. You got to be the doer. And you're not going to get into that, especially not during a pandemic, if you're full of fear, if you're stuck. So realize that there's a lot of business going on. There's a lot of opportunities going on. Look for the opportunities. Train yourself to look for those opportunities right now. And LinkedIn is like low-hanging fruit.
It's better than low-hanging fruit. It's like low-hanging fruit that if you just stand there and go like this,
the apple will fall into your mouth. Yeah.
It's like, and I don't believe, right? So one of the things I practice, I tell truthful marketing, right? So if you are out there, like Joe was saying, to manipulate just means to form, right? To manipulate is not bad. It just means to form. And it's how you use these powers that will make the difference. So if you're out there to take advantage of people, listen, karma will get you. All right. However, everyone has something to give. And if you focus on the giving and to take what Joe's saying, so I'm going to contest just a tiny bit because I have seen more people than I can count who have not been public, who have not done content strategies, but their DM game is so strong, their profile is so powerful, and their sales strategy is so strong that they're able to close even without content. So content really helps. It adds. However, if you have really solid case studies and credibility and background and you hit the pain just right, you can make it just on a DM strategy, but content makes it a lot easier. Right? What Joe's saying makes it a lot easier, but I know some people are saying, going, I can't do content. And then they get the voice of I can't. So I just want to say, you can. However you do this, you can. All right?
There's some people think that sales is convincing people. You don't want to convince anybody to do anything they don't want to do. That's why so many people have like icky taste in their mouth when it comes to sales, because they have the wrong idea of what sales is. Sales is not shoving something down somebody's throat that they don't want it. Sales is about persuading the person by listening to what's important to them and then helping them be able to create the right context with their own content. When somebody tells you what's hurting them, when somebody tells you what their pain is, and you can then align your products and services to solve their pain, that is persuading them because they're the ones that are coming up with the reasons to buy from you, not you. It's your job to support them and help them be able to see what they don't see because they're inside the label, they're inside the jar, they can't read the label. So you got to make them be able to hold up a mirror and say, hey, I see that you're in pain. Tell me what your pain is. And they start talking about their pain. And they're basically describing all the things that your products and services solves for them. And then you just align the context and it becomes this world of like, hey, it's obvious we should be working together. Question is, why aren't we? Why aren't we working together? And using LinkedIn, it makes it really easy once you start having conversations with people. And Esti's absolutely right. You don't need a personal brand. You can have a decent profile and start DMing people. You don't even need a DM. You can call people and people will look you up and they'll see your great brand, right? You can optimize your thing, have a really great photo, a great background photo, great identity, summary, history. You break it all down. And people will check you out. They see that you're legit, that you have 500 plus connections and you have a legit profile. And then they look at it and they're like, wow, this person has a legit profile. If you have content, even better. But even if you don't have content, they see that you're a real person, that you're really there. And if you can start messaging them the right way or calling them and building a relationship, that's how you build trust. The reason why LinkedIn builds so much trust is because there's a lot of transparency. You see who our mutual connections are. You see my recommendations. You see how long I've worked where. It's not like this random human being. It's already warmed up for you. You see everything about me. And if I've been posting for a while, you can go read some of my posts and see that I'm the real deal. So it adds so much more credibility. You don't have to have that. As a matter of fact, you don't even need LinkedIn, period. You can make cold calls. You can knock on doors. Well, you got to wear a mask now if you're going to be knocking on doors.
Knocking on doors is a little not trendy right now.
Knock on doors with toilet paper. You'll definitely get in. You'll be like, ding dong, who is it? We're here to deliver toilet paper from your favorite accountant. Or give out Lysol. That's something that stores still don't have. Did you notice that the stores
is out across the world? Yeah, face masks, just like local face mask delivery, little COVID care packages.
How about this? How about come in one of these?
Oh my gosh, I hate those. Don't get me started.
Purell?
Won't let them near me. Yeah.
Why?
It's a longer conversation. But Ezra asked a question actually a little bit ago. He said if he wants to gauge, I'm going to pronounce it wrong either way, so just take both of them. A new customer's needs, if they are, say, a 2-week or a 12-month service consulting project, what do I suggest? And especially because on social media, the stop button is much easier to use than face-to-face meetings. So I don't totally understand this.
He wants to gauge a new customer's needs. So basically, he wants to identify. So he gets a new customer, right? Let's say he's a consulting business, and he gets a new customer, and he wants to identify. He wants to try to figure out, okay, what is their need? What is their specific need in the next 2 weeks or in the next 12 weeks for a consulting project? What's the best way to figure out a customer's need without selling them? You don't want to sell the customers.
You talk to them.
Okay.
Questions. Okay, so this is something anyone who's been in my marketing magic course, and I see a couple of people here have been, so they know I teach this. Your sales pitch, right? We teach, it's called a pitch triangle. Okay. So the tippity top of the triangle is the part where you talk. You explain to people what you do and what you're about and what you offer. And then the big fat part is where you listen. Okay. And so you're asking questions. The best way to, is it gauge? I think it's gauge, right? I learned to talk by reading, so I pronounce things wrong.
It's gauge. It's gauge. Like engage, it's gauge.
Okay. It's spelled funny.
I know.
The best way to gauge a customer's need is to speak to them and ask them what they need. I just had a call this morning with someone, right? And I said, tell me what's going on. Let's see how I can help. They tell me more. I said, and they finished and they hadn't told me what they needed. They just told me what was going on. I said, so what do you need from me? Right? Very, very simple. What do you need from me? And the person won't always tell you what I need from you, but they'll say, I don't know if you can do this, but what I need is X, Y, Z, and then you're going to mirror it back and you're going to say, hey, sounds like you're looking for X, Y, and Z. So great that we're on the phone. I've been doing X, Y, and Z for 30 years, 3 years, 3 months, whatever, And again, Ezra's writing, like, it's harder to do on LinkedIn. You don't do it on LinkedIn. Yes, you could do it in a poll. These are the things you have to do in conversations with individuals. People mistake social media. They think it's like,
it's flax. It's flax. It's not the firewood. It's the flax. If you try to warm up your house with flax, you're going to go out of your mind. You got to put the firewood. The firewood is the phone call. You got to get to the phone conversation. If you just using social media to qualify people, you could do that to a limited degree. It's not going to work. What you want to do is you want to build rapport with them and then get them on the phone.
Yeah.
Get them on the phone. See, if I want to build a relationship with Esti, I'm not going to do it in the DM. I'm just going to build some rapport in the DM, maybe ask some initial questions and say, hey, and then say, greeting, right? Hello, happy birthday, blah, blah, feeding. Oh my God, I love your profile, blah, blah, blah. Would you like to come to an event? Da, 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 da. And then meeting, I see that you're interested in that. Why don't we get on the phone so I can see you, blah, blah, whatever, right? And that's the idea, greeting, feeding, and meeting. You get people on the phone, that's how you can nail it. You don't use social media to do the whole sale because it's just never going to work. I have closed deals in the DM, but that is an anomaly. 99.9% of calls are closed, especially bigger calls, after I speak to somebody not once, not twice, not 3 times, but usually 5 times it takes for me to have conversations that lead, especially if I need to include other decision makers, especially if they need to review materials, especially if they need to fill out questionnaires. And the bigger the sale, the more phone calls and the more back and forth there's going to be for them to review an SOW, for them to look at the MSA, for us to go back and forth. It's going to take time. If you want to close a deal that's 50 cents, yeah, you could do that in the DM. Just send them a link. They'll buy it. But if you want to close a deal that's a few $1,000s, You're probably going to have to speak to them. You're probably going to have to answer lots of questions. You're probably going to have to listen even more than you're speaking. But at the end of the day, lead it to a phone call. And how to do that phone call, I think, Esti, you talk a lot about how to do the dance on the phone call, right?
I do. Also, so in our LinkedIn training, and I do have a free LinkedIn training that teaches, I have a very simple system, like a 4-step system that helps you understand social media framework and specifically LinkedIn, called Connections to Clients. So I'm going to put in the chat the link to the free training. It's connectionstoclients.com/free training. But the basic process is, you're getting your profile up to speed, you're making the right connections, you're out there in the feed at some level, either posting content or commenting, and then you're in the DMs getting them on the phone. And I think one of the misunderstandings in social media is that people look at it as a self-contained, flat kind of environment, right? And they don't realize that it's another form of human interaction. It's 3D, right? Okay, it's not really 3D, but it is 3D. And when you think of it as a party and you think of everything that happens there as a conversation, right? You wouldn't walk into a random crowded room, be like, hey, so anybody, what are your problems in the next 2 weeks? Yeah, do you want to be my client? Okay. Like, that's the equivalent of doing that in a post. That makes no sense, right? And even a DM is, you're still at this big party. You take the guy aside for a minute and you're like, and you're chatting a little bit and you're like, hey, so what are your issues? Great, cool. Okay, you want to be my client? It's like, no, we've got to take it outside. We've got to get on the phone. And there's a ton that you can learn about people's pain points from social media. But if you want to really go deep, and like Joe is saying, you want to qualify people, you got to talk to them. And if you can't, you are in trouble, right? And some of the things that make LinkedIn so, in my opinion, much better than every other platform, I'm a total LinkedIn fangirl, and different, is the ability to segment people based on profession. Okay, so like Facebook just listens to you all day long, right? And everybody knows this, right? If you are talking about, a friend of mine just said he just bought a yoga course because his phone must have been listening to him talk about his back pain. And he got a specific yoga course that deals with special kinds of stretches for back pain for people who sit too much. It was like, that's specific, So Facebook listens to you all day. It knows everybody's preferences, and then it will send ads. You have to pay for that. On LinkedIn, everyone just, wears their heart on their sleeve, wears their profession on their sleeve. And if you know that certain types of jobs or professions have certain problems that you can solve, you don't need to pay anybody. You just get in there, search. Now, again, at some point, if you do too many of them, you'll need Sales Navigator. But I will tell you, honor bound, I have never paid LinkedIn for anything. And I've generated multiple 6 figures myself.
Wow.
I've never done Sales Navigator. I've never paid for any of their extra services. You do have a certain amount of searches that you can do for free. Again, you do too many, you want to keep track of people a certain way, you will need to pay them. But if you just want to test it out and see how it works, and then, if you're successful, why pay later? You are fine. Everybody's out there. And more than that, on Facebook, people are there to veg out. Yeah, they know they're going to get ads and they understand that and they deal with it. On LinkedIn, people are coming to develop professionally. They're coming to converse at a higher level. They're coming to learn, to grow, to develop. So you have a better audience that's primed and looking for opportunities. It's just a whole different world.
Yeah, the context of LinkedIn is people are there to network, people are there to build relationships. So if you guys want to learn more, definitely check out estirand.com. And check out her course, the Marketing Magic course. Check out connections to clients.com. And if you want to check me out, go to joelinkedin.com, Joe LinkedIn.com. You can see all my stuff, or go to evergreen.com. I posted a link, EVYRGREEN.com. Esti, this was fantastic. Thank you very much for doing this with me. Hopefully you guys got value. In the comments, let us know what you're specifically going to be doing as a result of what we taught you today, and hopefully we'll see you at the next one. Enjoy, and feel free to watch the recording. If you watch this and maybe missed the piece, you want to go back and watch it again, the recording will be available inside this program.
Totally. And Joe, if anyone has any questions, are we going to stick around for a minute to answer them? Anyone else?
Yeah, we can stick around for a minute.
Right, so I'm going to post it here, and I'm just going to write any. Let's go like this. Linked.
I'm going to read some questions that people typically ask me, just in general. So number one is, What are the top technologies to use with LinkedIn? How do I automate my LinkedIn marketing? Should I post on my company page or on my LinkedIn profile? What is the difference between an article or a LinkedIn post? What is considered good LinkedIn engagement? How do I get someone to answer my direct message on LinkedIn? How much content is too much content for LinkedIn? I don't want to sound annoying.
This is an entire presentation in and of itself.
Right. Is it worth paying for LinkedIn Premium?
No.
How do I get more profile views on my LinkedIn profile?
Be more interesting.
So think about this.
Fire round. I want to fire the answers.
Okay, go. I'll ask you a question. You answer.
Ask questions. I'm going to go fire rounds. Go.
What is the top technology to use on LinkedIn?
An actual human.
How do I automate LinkedIn marketing?
You hire a VA, train them with Loom training videos, and then go. Should
I post on company page or LinkedIn profile?
Only your personal LinkedIn profile. Your company page is garbage. It's just the logo on your profile.
What's the difference between LinkedIn article and LinkedIn posts?
LinkedIn article sits on your profile, and you must have at least one so that when people look at your profile page, it shows the article, but a post is live in the feed. The article will show up in the feed, but it doesn't get as much traction as a post does, but it lives much longer. Your post disappears the day you post it, more or less, unless it's viral.
What is considered good LinkedIn engagement?
I would say anyone who's getting over 30 likes and comments is getting something decent, and above 100 is already like, all right.
How much content is too much content where you're annoying?
I think more than once a day you start to annoy people already.
How do I get more profile views on LinkedIn?
Post content or DM people or reach out and connect to people to make them aware of you.
Should I pay for Sales Navigator?
No.
How do I get more video views on LinkedIn?
Post engaging videos that begin with a viral hook on relevant topics.
How do you find my LinkedIn connections email addresses?
If they provide them, they're actually listed straight on their profile. You use scraping tools, things like Hunter and other tools that are out there. There's tons of them. Just search scraping tools for LinkedIn.
What is the most effective things to do on LinkedIn to get an ROI?
DMing. Highest ROI.
How do we get more recommendations on LinkedIn?
Ask actual humans to give you a recommendation. And if you really, I hate this, but it really works, give them the language and say, hey, we work together. Would you agree with this? Do you want to share it? And then
what should I do if somebody is being really annoying and racist to me?
Block them and report them immediately.
How do I track who I'm connected to on LinkedIn and how often I communicate with them?
You should use Joe's spreadsheet.
How do I generate qualified leads on LinkedIn?
You should use a targeted strategy that selects the right people and then DMs them according to their pain points, filters them, and then track the engagement. How
do I go viral on LinkedIn? I ain't talking about coronavirus.
Take a really hot, relevant topic and say something controversial.
How do I get over 100 comments on a LinkedIn post in less than an hour?
You're going to need to either do what I just said about viral, C answer to CB, or you're going to want to be in a pod or email and phone and WhatsApp all your friends the link to your post and say, I just posted, comment right now. Or influencer.
Or comment on your own post because your own comments count towards the count.
That's true, they do. That's true, they do.
I literally did that. Somebody's like, Joe, I bet you can't get 100 comments in an hour. I was like, I'll show you in 15 minutes. I'll get 100 comments. They're like, yeah, let's see. I just wrote comment, and I had 100 comments. I sent it to him. I was like, he's like, how the hell did you do that? I was like, I'm good. I'm that good. He's like, you're a spammer. You're a scammer. I was like, I'm not a scammer. I just commented on my own thing. And he looked like, oh my God, I didn't even notice. Because no one's going to go through. If you try to load 100 comments, you can break.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
What's the fastest way to add thousands of qualified connections on LinkedIn?
Doing a really easy DM strategy where you engaged people from other people's posts, reaching out to them, telling them that your stuff is similar to that guy and they should check you out, but you better have stuff that's similar to that guy or they'll drop you later.
How do I view someone's recent LinkedIn posts?
Okay, that's annoying. You have to go to their profile, scroll down, hope that they've posted an article so their activity shows up easy, click on activity, and then click on posts.
How do you know how many followers somebody has on LinkedIn?
So if you click on again, this is why you have to have an article. If they've posted an article in that little section, it will tell you how many followers they have on their profile page. Otherwise,
how do otherwise just stick your tongue out at them with an emoji. How do I get
otherwise you're stuck.
How do I get LinkedIn Live on my account?
Beg, pray, hope, and see if you've got friends in high places.
And fill out the application. What's the difference between Facebook and LinkedIn for business networking?
Do I even have a short answer to that? What is the difference
between Facebook and LinkedIn for business networking?
I have so many rude things to say. Let me see if I could say something nice.
Okay, I'll answer it. I'll answer it for you. So Facebook is about the F word. Friends, family, food, fun. You like what I did there? Facebook.
I liked what you did there.
Facebook is more social. LinkedIn is more business. So if you're looking for business networking, use LinkedIn. If you're looking for friends, family, food, fun, and other things that are related to the F word, Freilichen, something.
You're nicer than me. I was going with examples like it's the difference between the little toy engagement rings that you get from the 25-cent thing when you twist and it comes out, and something from De Beers.
Ooh, I like that. That's very, very good. That's a good analogy. What's the best message to include in my note when I'm sending someone I don't know well a connection request on LinkedIn?
Something that's actually relevant to them that they would care about.
What types of, what's the best time of the day to post, or at night?
The time that your main audience of your followers is online, depending on your country, region, industry, and your people.
How often does Esti Rand log into LinkedIn?
Oh, that's cheating. Can I be super honest? Not even once a day.
Once a day.
Not even once a day.
Not even once a day. Okay, listen.
Some days, like if I've posted, so like 600 times that day, but some days not at all, because I've got a life, 5 kids, a company to run, and I don't always have time.
And you don't necessarily need it right now because your business is doing really, really well, and you're not necessarily you're looking for new customers, but you're not.
I'm not actively prospecting right now.
Right. You're not. You don't need to be active. Right. You positioned yourself so well that you don't. Not everybody needs. Some people think, oh, everybody needs new clients. No, just because you need new clients, it doesn't mean everybody needs new clients. Some people have set their business up with enough recurring revenue that they could focus on getting better clients and really setting themselves up to automate their business so they could spend more time with their family or whatever their goal is. So if you take a look at Esti Rand's profile on LinkedIn, and I'm looking at your profile on LinkedIn, I see your featured stuff. I see you have 18,000 followers on LinkedIn. So you're very popular on LinkedIn. You're very successful on LinkedIn. Take a look at your last post that you post was a week ago about All Lives Matter, right? You did a whole video about that. You had 11.
Yesterday, but it was still getting engagement even yesterday. That post has carried. So I've been hanging out with it.
By the way, did that do well for you, or did that backfire?
So I'll tell you, it's a little embarrassing. And the embarrassment is not what people are going to think. So what happened was, I'm in LA, and I'm actually I was right in the heart of the main riots that happened 2 weeks ago. The main commercial corridor between my house and my office completely boarded up. Glass smashed, businesses of friends of mine destroyed. They couldn't even reopen because they have to wait for the insurance, losing money for doing nothing, right? Just for living in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I was so upset, and I felt like, we're coming out of Corona and people have started to band together. Now everyone's dividing again, and they're dividing based on what I consider to be irrelevant factors. To create division on the color of someone's skin, on their race or their ethnicity or their income, that's not what people are about. And it just upset me so much from that place that I did this post. And I was, again, from the BLM movement, I was like, all lives matter, right? Everyone should matter. No one should be divided on the color of their skin, not for good or bad. Just stop dividing and let's all sing Kumbaya and hold hands and hug. And what I didn't know, what I found out a week and a half later, is that I did not make that line up. I don't watch the news. I have believed for over 20 years that if you don't watch the news, you are uninformed. And if you do, you are misinformed. And so I get all my news from memes and from, hearing gunshots out my window. And and watching people walk around with masks, but I don't follow the news at all. So I had no idea that All Lives Matter was a thing. I thought I made it up. And then someone reached out and said to me, by the way, like, are you aligning yourself with the All Lives Matter movement, which is apparently an anti-BLM evangelical movement? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I was mortified. I was so, because that wasn't my point. I was not trying to hurt anybody. I was like, could we sing Kumbaya and hold hands and everyone stop being mean and, you know, antsy-pantsy because you've been locked in your houses for too long? And instead, I seem to have aligned myself with a movement that I didn't even know existed. Did it do well for me or not? You know, I'm not a believer that all PR is good. I'm not one of those people, right? There are people who say, yeah, however, you know, all fame is fame and all fame is good. And, you know, there's something called being infamous. And that wasn't my point. You know, people got so mad at me. Overall, I spoke my truth. I spoke from a place of passion and kindness. I cannot see how that could be bad. And at the same time, when I realized that I had aligned myself unwittingly with something that I had no idea existed, I had a, you know, monkey hands emoji for a little while.
Yeah, no matter what, see, this is a big lesson that no matter what you say, whether you say, you know, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, you don't say anything, how could you not say anything? You said something, you said the wrong thing, you got aligned with this, you get whatever you say. There's always somebody that's going to be mad at you when you're talking about something political or something that, you know, whatever you say, there's always somebody that's going to be against you, whether you said something or didn't say something. So, you know, you just speak your mind and be yourself. And some people are going to hate on you. I always say the people that love you no matter what you say. The people that hate you no matter what you say. And the people that love you today are going to hate you tomorrow. And the people that hate you today are going to love you tomorrow. So just do you. Other people's opinions are really none of your business. Just you got to do you. And you're going to feel shame sometimes. You're going to feel guilt sometimes. You're going to feel disempowering emotions. It's not bad. It just is. And you'll learn something from it. Maybe you'll learn about your own racial biases. We all have them. We all have them. That's the reality of, you know, where from Yidden, whatever it is, where we have biases towards whatever. And this just is. And if we want to make the world a better place, we just have to become aware of our biases. And if we become aware of them, don't judge them. They're just there. Just know that they're there and decide if you want to change them or you want to double down on them like somebody else. I'm not even going to say his name. But you know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about, probably because I don't follow the news. I haven't a clue.
No, whatever. I'll send you a thing later. Okay, anyway.
Less clue what you're talking about. But I would say the other thing is, I'll tell you, even when I found out that I had unwittingly aligned myself with something that I didn't know existed, that was not my intent at all, and I turned probably all sorts of colors, right? I really felt embarrassed because I didn't know, and that wasn't my point. I didn't suffer for more than maybe 15 minutes.
You got over it.
Half an hour, because I know that I spoke from a place of truth. I stood behind everything I said. I went out and I actually issued an apology in the comments, you know, just tagging the people who had been engaged in the post to let them know, again, I'd spoken the truth and I spoke the truth again. I didn't know that this was a thing. And when you are whole with what you do, with what you say, so the risk is something you don't really mean, something you can't really stand behind, right? That's when you're going to be uncomfortable. And someone attacks you, you're like, oh, and you're going to be horrified and you're going to be afraid and upset. But as long as you are whole, there is nothing, there's no way in for
anyone can penetrate you, right?
Can't get in. You know, anyone who didn't like what I said, but I meant it. I meant the kindness that I said it with. And I've had other posts also that people have attacked me for, right? And if you don't have a hater, you haven't made it yet. You get your first hater, please throw a party, open a bottle of champagne. You made it. I get people messaging. I got a message a couple days ago. Hey, Esti, asking for a friend, you know, someone who had gotten hate on social media out of nowhere, right? Someone had just like posted like an attacking post. I said, congratulations, you made it. Right?
The second you get hate, it's time to celebrate because finally they put it on your plate. You can set yourself straight. You don't have to wait.
Rap. I'll do your beatbox and you can do a rap.
Yeah, that would be fun. I don't know if it'll. I don't know. This is not Zoom. I don't think we can hear both of us at the same time. But
yeah, I don't know.
And you can't share audio through this, so.
That's true. They didn't give us a lot of options. All right. Well, I have not seen anybody asking any questions. And I think we answered a whole lot of the ones that.
Oh, Michael said he wants me to answer all those questions now.
Go for it. Read them again.
Really? Okay. Let's see. By the way, Esti was spot on with all her answers. There were a couple of things that I would have, like changed a little bit or whatever it is.
Joe can tell you to yes, get Sales Navigator. I know that.
Well, I would say that if you're going to use it, get it, right? So I'll just start with that one. Like, should you pay for LinkedIn Premium or not? If you want to see the last 90 days of people that looked at your profile, pay for it. It's worth it. I have over 5,000 people that looked at my profile in the past 90 days. And I like to go through those people to see who are ideal clients of mine or people that I can connect with. So that's really also answers the question of who should I connect with first? Who should I rapidly connect with is the people that looked at your profile. When somebody searches for you on Google, they are going to find your LinkedIn profile. And if somebody was searching for you and they looked at you, send them a connection request and say, thank you for checking out my profile. Let's connect on LinkedIn. In terms of the top technologies to use alongside LinkedIn, I actually have 30 technologies that I like using. But the one that I think is most relevant is like a calendar app that allows people to automatically self-select the ability for them to set up a call with you, because instead of going back and forth with you, you can put that on your LinkedIn profile. I use Calendly, but there's a lot of other options that you can do that. In terms of automating LinkedIn, Esti's spot on with getting a VA. There's no better way to automate LinkedIn without actually automating it. But there are certain things that you can automate, and there are certain things you can't. If you want to automate posting, you can use buffer.com or Hootsuite or one of these sites. They're really, really good at making sure that you post content every single day without you having to log in every single day. In terms of a company page or a personal profile, I say personal profile, just like Esti did, is much better. It's because you're more in control of how many followers you have, because every connection is a follower. You can't automatically add followers to your company page, but you can automatically add up to 30,000 followers to your personal profile by sending out connection requests and getting people to accept. So whatever has more followers, you should be posting on. And usually your profile is going to have much more followers than your company page, because nobody cares about your company. They care about you as an individual.
Also, company pages, let's just talk algorithm for a second. The algorithm is not kind to company page posts. It more or less ignores them. So it's mostly a waste. Even the biggest influencers post on their company pages, share that from their personal profile, and shares are not favored by the algorithm either on LinkedIn. On Facebook, they are. I like to play with the algorithm. And so even that's not ideal. So yeah, it's mostly a waste.
If you take a look at Sales Navigator and you try to see if there's like a part that shows you your most recent posts of your prospects, and I use Sales Navigator all the time, and we teach Sales Navigator, it shows that shares don't even show up there, because shares are not even considered a post according to the algorithm. It's very powerful. Should you post a LinkedIn article or a LinkedIn post? Well, it depends. If you want to come up in Google search, LinkedIn articles come up in Google search, but LinkedIn posts don't. If you want to have something that's more than 1,300 characters, you can't do that on a post. You can only do that in an article. If you want to embed video, if you want to embed multiple images, if you want to be able to put links inside, use the article to do that, but then use the posts to promote the article, but promote the article in the comment of the post. So there's actually ways to leverage both and to use both, and there are benefits to both. I actually wrote an article about the technical and strategic difference between posts and articles. So that's like a long roundabout answer. So hopefully this was valuable to you. I mean, I can keep going on for hours about, the 58 questions that I can pow out. But Esti, maybe we should do another session where I share the questions with you in advance, and you have to share the answer in less than 5 seconds. And then you can go with your best answer. That could be fun, yeah. And when are we doing our next LinkedIn Influencer Summit?
I feel like, so I've gathered a couple great new influencers. I don't know if we should wait till January.
Yeah, let's consider doing it in August.
Yeah, August is cool. I think August would
be nice. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it in the middle of the summer, maybe on Tisha B'Av.
All of you listening, July or August? I feel like maybe July, just because of Corona.
Yeah, guys, right? July or August. When would you rather see us collect a group of 5 to 8 influencers, the top influencers of LinkedIn, to share their top secrets for free? When would you like to see it? July or August? Let us know in the comment.
Should we just wait till January? Because you're not really interested, and you're like,
yeah,
we can wait till January. It's fine.
Should we wait till January? And we still have the domain Influencer Summit 2020, so we can just use the same thing. Joseph Basker said he'd rather do it in August.
All right.
Because people are away in July.
By majority.
Yeah. Oh, June.
June. Okay, so that's now. We need a little more than 2 weeks to get it all set up.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying July or August, because we're going to need more than 2 weeks. We could do early July, potentially, if we gear up quick. But
okay. All right. So it looks like it's between July. I hope to be back at work before August. Okay, cool. So let's do July. It looks like because Kaya said June.
For each right now. We've got an August, a June, and a July. No, we don't even have a tiebreaker.
We do. The sooner the better. So July's sooner.
Fair.
Sooner the better, but not too soon. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being part of this. If you guys have any questions, you know how to reach out to us. You can check us out on LinkedIn.
We're both super hard to lose, like super hard to lose.
Go watch the replays. We were supposed to do it for 30 minutes, but we went for an hour. By the way, what did you guys think of this? What did you think of this? Let me know in the comments right now. What was your big takeaway? Did you enjoy it? What did you get out of it? Is there a sentence that you could leave? For me, my big takeaway is it's okay if you mess up. Just wait 15 minutes and then drink a soda and move on. It's a good reminder, right?
I drink water, but yeah, I like that. And I think my big takeaway is to come in a little more strategic. Like every time I talk to Joe, this is always my takeaway, because Joe, like, he takes LinkedIn to the next level, guys. Like, he's got dashboards and research. Like, I never went that intense in my LinkedIn prospecting. And every time I talk to Joe, I'm like re-inspired to get more serious about it. Like, break out the spreadsheets, get the dashboards, track the people. So that's my takeaway.
Thank you, Esti. You are wonderful. So Chaya said great info. Awesome. Thank you very much for engaging. Chaya, Victor, Michael, Joseph. Who else was here? We had so many. Ezra. Yeah, so many really great people. Renina. Thank you all for engaging with us. Really appreciate all of you. Feel free to check out our LinkedIn stuff. Esti, when's the next time you're going to post on LinkedIn?
Such a good question. I would say this week. Probably not today. Today is Tuesday. Maybe tomorrow. I feel like tomorrow's a good day.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna do a selfie with both of us now. Just do a little thumbs up for me. Here you go. Okay, I got it. And I'm gonna just turn it into an actual image so that I can post that on LinkedIn. And by the way, the reason I post on LinkedIn every day, as a final tip, a lot of people say, Joe, why do you recommend posting on LinkedIn every day? It's because a post usually, not in your case, but usually dies after 24 hours, because most of the time it stops coming up on the feed and people stop engaging, so then the post dies. Every time someone engages, the post gets alive again. But most of the time, you'll notice the views, and I track every single post that I've ever posted with how much views, and I go back to see, and usually within 24 hours, the views stop going up by a significant amount. Maybe it'll go up by maybe 1% or whatever, but in the first hour is the most, and then after that throughout the day. But after 24 or 48 hours, it's dead. So if you're not posting every day, you're missing out the possibility of getting those eyeballs, because you just don't even have the chance to come into the feed. So that's why I recommend posting every day, just because I know that it expires after a day most of the time. So especially during Corona, when there's more posts than ever now, that's the idea.
Or you could do my method, which is spend a whole bunch more time developing the concept and the content of each post, and then watch each one go for like 3 days to a week.
Right. And especially if you're in the comments, bringing more people in, especially if you're sharing it in group messages, especially if you're including it in emails, I guess we recommend.
I've actually never done. I've never been in. I was in one pod ages ago. I think, but I haven't done pods in ages.
And you don't need to do it. Yeah, you don't need to do it. It's just a way. It's just another way of getting more eyeballs to your post. That's all.
Totally, 100%. And what I love about every time, Joe, you and I talk, and especially when we run the influencer summits, there is no one path to success. Right? That always annoys me when some expert comes up and says, I have the keys.
The only way.
Set of keys that unlocks the door to success. And
then you pull up with your dump truck and you drive right through the door.
Exactly. Just kick it out.
Boom.
You can't even see. That was a good roundhouse. Been exercising in COVID. So yeah, I love that, because there's so many paths to success. And guys, go out, find your path. Thanks for joining us. We did stick around a lot longer than we originally planned. And we're so glad that you found value. in this conversation.
If there's one final message that you can give to small business owners that are struggling from COVID-19, not in their health, but in their business, what's the final thing that you want to say before we hit stop broadcast? A word of inspiration, a word of encouragement. Esti, what would you say to those business owners that are struggling in their business to learn how to thrive in their business, to leverage the current opportunities for the new normal? What's the one thing you want to leave them with?
So I'm going to give you one of my favorite quotes, because I love quotes. For those of you who listen to my podcast, you know this. We end every episode with a quote. And it is, what the caterpillar thinks is the end of the world, the butterfly knows is only the beginning. And I know so many people are feeling like, they've died, their business has died, right? All that kind of like, very negative language. They're scared and it's died and it's destroyed and it's broken and it's not. And what's really happening is you're metamorphosing. You're being given an opportunity to grow and get to the next level. You might not recognize it. You might not feel it. It might feel like a death, but it's a death for the purpose of growth. Be a phoenix. Okay. Rise from the ashes, become the butterfly from the caterpillar that you were, and look at this as the opportunity it can be, and then it will be. So
cool. That was fabulous. Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. I'm actually going to share a post right now. And I know we have about 30 people or so that are watching right now. So if you can, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the link to the post in the comments right now. And hopefully you guys will see that post and you'll give it a like and give it a comment and let me and Esti know what is it that you got out of this talk that we did over here. So I just posted a link to the post over here. It's a picture of me and Esti, and it says struggling in your business, learn how to just did a talk. Let's continue in the comments. So Esti, maybe you can click on it and leave a comment yourself if you want to. And this way people can find your LinkedIn profile really quickly. And also, I made you log into LinkedIn today.
You did make me log into LinkedIn today. And guys, for all of you watching, you are watching the master at work. All right. It's real-time interactive training into how to do this.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the main room and I'm going to promote this and tell everyone, after you watch the replay, go here and like and comment on this post. And because there's about 170 people here, maybe we'll get 10, 15 comments from people that actually watched it that go back and let the LinkedIn world know what the takeaways are.
Or me and you can just have a whole conversation in the comments and get 100 comments in the next 5 minutes.
We can do that. We can do that. But I think I have to go on a call. So I'll just have my admin and your admin do that with each other.
That's a good idea. I'll let her know that it's time to go and ghost right now.
Spend the next hour just talking about that. By the way, I recently had my admin.
By the way, for everyone watching, in case you're wondering, Joe will not stop talking. He will keep going. He will continue to end this session and then continue to extend the session. So if you've got somewhere to be, this is going to take a while.
Okay. You know what? I just want to say one last thing. I want to say is if you don't have time to take notes from other people's meetings, like, you're watching a video on YouTube and you really like the video, send it to a virtual admin to take notes and send you a summary of what it is. I recently did that and my mind was blown by how quickly I was able to learn, because I found a session that was just a mind-blowing sales training on YouTube and I wanted to watch it, but I didn't have an hour and 20 minutes to do it. So I sent it to my thing and I got back something that I read in 5 minutes and I got all the information downloaded into my brain. It's just phenomenal. Anyway.
Okay, that's cool, but I can't leave it like that because then everyone has to know about otter.ai, which is the absolute best AI transcription tool out there, and it's free, and we are obsessed with it. You can get up to 3 free before you have to start paying for it per month per email, and just run any audio, any Zoom through it, and it's almost flawless. For AI, it's absolutely incredible. And you get a snapshot and you'll have timestamps of when things happen in case you want to watch a specific thing, but it doesn't serve the same purpose as what Joe said. I really like it.
How does it compare to Temi.com?
Way better.
Why?
Way better.
Why?
Free. The technology is just better.
Okay.
The technology is better. The same way you're like, well, why can you talk to text now better than 10 years ago? Because the technology is better.
Cool. And do they let you use it unlimited after when you pay, or is it like per minute?
No, once you pay unlimited, and it's the absolute, trust me, we've tried a lot. Listen, if you want a perfect transcription, I'm really happy with rev.com. They're $1 a minute. They're really good. Trint is a lot cheaper, but it's really not as good because it's not as good AI as Otter, which you can play with for free. But if you want proper transcription, rev.com is excellent. It won't get nuanced language words and specialty words. For that, you'll still want a VA to review it for context. But again, for a basic transcription to get an idea of what went on with something and or to find timestamps from a longer recording, we use it when we do our podcast write-ups and things like that. We've been using Otter for over a year.
Cool. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. And we'll see you
really say goodbye, guys. For real. For real. Are we really saying we're going to
Okay, we're ending broadcast. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.